Welcome to Nails and Networks. I'm Jeff Wilson.
And I'm David Bernardino, fractional executive, AI nerd, doing a lot of things with the NAHB. Today's topic is really, really simple. The first contractor to respond wins the job 78% of the time. That's not an opinion. That's the data. Go check it for yourself. And the average contractor responds in 42 to 47 hours. And we're going to talk about what that gap costs you and how to close it.
So here's why this matters. You could be the most experienced and probably contractor on the list. You could have the best price. It doesn't matter if the homeowner already has an estimate from the guy who called back in 5 minutes or less. You're playing catch up from the moment you respond because whoever they spoke to first set the baseline. Today, we're going to tell you how to stop letting that happen.
And Jeff, the research is unambiguous. The first contractor to respond wins the job 78% of the time. Not the most experienced, not the one with the best logo or the best customer service, not the lowest price, the first one to call back. Now, here's the contrasting stat. The average response time for a contractor is between 42 to 47 hours. Some studies put it even higher. Regardless, that's unacceptable. And yet, and this shocked me, 23% of contractors, nearly one in four, never respond to a new lead at all. I know
But
as a
Dave,
homeowner,
is that really shocking? Haven't you reached out to contractors and been ghosted by them when you
yeah,
want them to do work for you? So that's why when I saw that, I said, I can't believe it, and I go, oh yeah, that's been my experience.
yeah, and it just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth, and
Hmm.
you put them on the I never want to deal with that person ever again.
Right.
Because just for a simple courtesy saying, hey, I'm busy, I want to respond, but let's get back to this. There's one more number that changes everything. Responding within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes makes a contractor 21 more times likely to qualify to lead. 21 times. By the 30-minute mark, 79% of leads have already moved on. So the math is really simple. 78% win rate for the first responder. Average response time, 2 days. Those two numbers should not coexist in any serious business.
Yeah, I simply don't get it. What does this look like uh, in practice? When I'm working with clients, it's like, hey, you have to be on top of it. How can you improve your speed? Let's look at your workflow. Let's make sure that you're really managing your pipeline and that everybody who calls in, how are you tracking it? And I have to say, this is what they spend so much time doing, getting referrals, doing great work, doing rework. They may be involved in the community. They are often paying for advertising, their website, digital marketing. And what happens? They don't pick up the phone.
Yeah, speed to lead is not a technology problem. Let's be crystal clear about it. It's a systems problem, and honestly, it's a values problem. Like, do you respect the person that's actually contacting you?
Mm,
It's because at the end, systems and values go, systems are sort of an outlook or output of values. And this is fixable in one afternoon. This is not like it's rocket science. So, Jeff, show us how this can be done down the road. But first, let me explain why being first matters at a level beyond just logistics. When a homeowner contacts three contractors, which they almost always do, I know I do it for myself. I'm sure you do it as well, Jeff.
yeah.
They go through an unconscious ranking process. In the consumer packaged goods world where I cut my teeth, this is all about deselection and selection. You're standing at the shelf, you're looking, you want to buy some cereal, you want to buy honey bunches with oats, but you see the vast sea of other options. You're literally, within the first 10 seconds, you're literally just deselecting everything else because it's noise and you're honing in on what you want to choose honey bunches of oats. It's very similar in this use case. The first contractor to respond becomes the benchmark. It becomes a reference point through which you evaluate everything else. Contractors 2 and 3 are evaluated against contractor 1. It doesn't matter if they're better or not. It's just who was there first. To use
Yep.
another analogy, it's like you're, at a golf major, and the person that posts the score, they might be in the lead, but they, still have 20 golfers to go. That person's in the clubhouse with the lead. They've established the benchmark. So again, this is all about how the consumer evaluates what comes after. So what it boils down to, being first as far as responding is similar to being first on the shelf. You've already said to the homeowner, I'm responsive, I'm reliable, I'm professional, I respect you, I want your business. However, the competitor who's responding 42 hours later, 47 hours later, is communicating the exact opposite. They're basically saying, you know what? I'll get back to you when I feel is right. Here's the rub. That drives brand perception. And let's just face it, who's cutting the check? It's not you, Mr. Contractor. It's the homeowner. So at the end of the day, you are in service to the homeowner. So if you think 42 hours is acceptable, sorry, pal, it ain't going to work. Think of it in your own shoes. I'm sure you get pissed off when you lose cable TV for 5 minutes, right? And you're calling Verizon trying to get service reestablished, and they tell you, please hold, you're going to be in line. The next available representative will be speaking to you in 20 minutes. You're going to be pissed. It's the same thing. Perception is everything. And a brand is built in the first 5 minutes. So Jeff, what do you think?
That's it. Those first 5 minutes are critical. And how do you actually respond in 5 minutes when you're on a job site or in a crawl space or going between appointments or in a meeting, whether it be getting licensing and permitting, whether it be with a client or prospect, or you just don't hear the phone ring for whatever reason. Well, you can't do it, and you may have a team, but let's say you even have a full-time receptionist. Are they available 24/7? Even during the day, don't they take breaks? Aren't they maybe on another call? Aren't they working on another project? What about sick days? What about when there are problems with kids or vacation? Those things always cause the failure. And what we're talking about from this data are businesses that are experiencing that kind of failure. There is no way manually to reliably respond within 5 minutes. This is what AI does. This is what AI is built for. So here's the actual flow. A lead comes in. It could be a web form. It could be an inbound call, a text. It could be on your website. In less than 60 seconds, and often in less than 10 seconds, the AI sends a response. And it's not an auto-responder, like a generic, thanks for your inquiry. It's conversational, it's specific, and it's designed to be engaging. It's, hey, this is Bob's Roofing. We got your message. What kind of project are you working on? So it has a natural tone, whether it be written or by voice. The homeowner responds, and the AI continues in a conversation, not a brain dump, interactive. It qualifies the job type, the location, the timeline, and rough budget based on the exact process that you would use. That's how it's ideally trained. And if it looks like a fit, the AI offers to book an estimate appointment directly on your calendar, or with the salesperson who does that. The homeowner books the calendar appointment. They get a text message verification and an email verification. You get notification. So if you're on a roof with your crew, or you're in the midst of uh, a critical meeting with a new prospect, and a qualified lead comes in with a booked appointment just landed in your calendar without you touching a phone, that is when the 5 minute response is made real. The cost isn't crazy. In fact, it's crazy reasonable. The base platform that we use runs anywhere from $97 to $497 a month. And the AI conversation piece is metered on top of that by usage. But even fully loaded, you're just looking at a couple hundred a month. Compare that to what you're giving away by responding 47 hours later.
Yeah, Jeff. And, on top of that, there's a compounding effect because, yes, speed to response is critical. We've already established that as far as the early bird getting the worm. However, this also impacts how you're perceived in the marketplace because there's this thing called word of mouth. I think we've all heard of it. We've all done it. Given how a lot of homeowners view contractors, they view folks as unreliable, unresponsive, unprofessional, all these bad negative connotations about our industry. So when you actually respond within a couple of minutes and respond in a professional, reliable manner, they're going to tell their friends. They're going to say, hey, Joe's contracting service, I got to tell you, I was really surprised. I sent an inquiry about this decking repair that I needed to get done, and they
Mm.
called me back in 2 minutes. I was shocked. And then they're going to tell their neighbors, or even more importantly, they're going to post it on Facebook on their town's particular Facebook page. Let me tell you, that town Facebook page is probably more critical than ever before because it is the court of public opinion for your particular town. So you want to hose your business tomorrow? Don't respond. Don't be professional. Don't be respectful because you know what? You're already going to get a review on your town's particular Facebook page and you're done. So that story, what's it worth? Let's quantify it. Let's put some numbers. It's probably worth 3 to 5 referrals. That's probably be on the conservative side. But even more importantly, it establishes you as a brand that is significantly differentiated from someone else. And when you do that consistently over time, that creates a moat, which is really hard for your other competitors to match. And in our world where the homeowner has a negative view about folks in our industry in general, that is worth gold.
So, David, your career is about marketing and brand. And let me tell you what happens on the customer's end when you respond in 47 hours. You can imagine that kind of brand. The homeowner submitted a contract form a contact form Tuesday evening. By Wednesday morning, they've heard from 2 other contractors. One already has them booked for a site visit on Thursday. When you send your response Wednesday afternoon, they'll maybe not respond, or they'll politely say, I'll let you know. You will never hear from them again. You established your brand, and they don't want your brand. You didn't lose the job on price. You lost it on timing. And you'll never know it happened. You'll come up with all kinds of excuses in your head, but it shows up just as a dead lead in your follow-up sequence. But what happened was you dropped the ball, and that's the brand you have. We respond in 47 hours. Think about that. Or are you the one, as David said, where people rave on the community Facebook page? They were back to me in less than 2 minutes, and I've been thrilled with them ever since.
Yeah, this is all part of a concept that we used to say at Procter & Gamble called the first moment of truth. And you can Google it. It's a famous term that A.G. Lafley, shout out to him, a guy I used to work for, said about 25 years ago. And this is
Mm-hmm.
all about the consumer's first interaction with a brand. So in our case, right, it's the homeowner sending an inquiry saying, "Hey, I'm interested in getting something done." The question mark is, have you actually delivered to the consumer what they want in a way on their terms? Similar to the shelf, going back to the Honey Bunches of Oats example, right? You're looking for Honey Bunches of Oats. There are other cereals there, but there's the private label Honey Bunches of Oats. What are you going to choose? And you start looking at it, there are all these different things. Ultimately, if you win the first moment of truth in the cereal example, you're going to pick up the variant of Honey Bunches of Oats and put it on your shopping trolley. In our world, right, this is all about you responding to the homeowner or to that prospect in a way where ultimately they sign a contract with you. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. And by responding in 47 hours, you've lost the first moment of truth, which means you don't even get to the second moment of truth, which is earning the consumer's right to want you back. And that's all given on how you deliver the job. I'm sure we'll be talking about this further, but at the end, this is as basic as it gets. Do you want to make an impression based off of 42 hours of silence? I don't know about you. I don't have the patience to deal with it. And I'm sure if the roles were reversed, you wouldn't either.
So here's your move. This week, and I'm not saying next month, this week, set up missed call text back on your primary business number. There are standalone programs that do this as low as $37 a month. Seriously, it's ridiculous. We offer that as part of our package, but you can do it standalone and nothing else. Here's what it does. When a call comes in and nobody picks up, within 60 seconds, an automated text goes out to that number and says, "Hey, this is Carl's Kitchens. Sorry we missed your call. What can we help you with?" And those kinds of text messages get an incredibly high response rate. That single automation keeps you in the conversation. The homeowner who called you at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday gets a text at 7 o'clock and 58 seconds. They reached your business. Even if you didn't respond personally until the next morning, you stayed alive in their consideration set, maybe even giving them a link so they can schedule a meeting. This is available on a lot of different software systems. We use Go High Level. We just find that it's a good intermediary and we can link other integrations into it. But it's available on all kinds of systems. And you can utilize a variety of scheduling tools and integrate with your software. The text back piece takes about 20 minutes to set up. It's the single highest leverage automation available to a contractor. The full AI qualification and calendar booking, well, that's the next layer up. And it's hours to set up and configure reasonably. And if you're going to do a very high level to really be almost like a digital sales associate, that could take days to set up. But you have to start with missed call text back. If you want to go deeper on the full system, the AI qualification, the calendar booking, the follow-up sequence, the review request, and the case study for why no off-the-shelf CRM was built to run on it, that's our previous episode where we talk about that the best CRM for construction doesn't exist. Build this instead. The link's in the description below. But if you'd rather talk about how it can build that, reach out to us. We're happy to talk to you. David?
Yeah, so at the end, speed is a choice. Is it part of your DNA or is it not? Because at the end, you're making the choice to not be responsive. You're making the choice to ghost the consumer. You're making the choice to be viewed as some schlump who refuses to be responsive to your potential customers. The tools exist, so there's no excuse. So choice is up to you.
Thanks so much, David. So that's this week's episode, which is speed to lead. And what that means, it's speed to money in your pocket. Join us next week for our next episode, which is what a contractor sales system actually looks like step by step and how to build one in the age of AI.